Okay, so before we looked at how to prepare a disk. We'll go through the format command in some detail in a little bit. But now we just want to go over some of the important DOS commands. And we saw the following in class. We saw that you have directory, dir gives you a directory, and we have the type command. The type command lets you do is it lets you type out the contents of a file with a txt extension, or more accurately, a file that just has text in it, no formatting information. So if I create a file with, say, Notepad, and it just says hello in it, and I save it, then I'll type it out and I'll just say hello. If I were to try to do the same thing with a Word file, the Word file, as you can try, you'll see it has many more than 5 characters because formatting information is in there. The type command won't work. So again, the type command is for typing out files that just have text information without formatting. The copy command, which we'll see, basically copies one file to another. The date command lets me set the date on the computer's clock. The time lets me set the time. Rename lets me change the name of the file. There are other commands, the check disk, which lets me check the version, check the status of the disk, whether the disk has disk integrity or it's broken. The scan disk is equivalent one in later versions of DOS. Disk copy lets me copy one disk to another. This is really only useful if you have, say, 2 diskettes or 2 disks of exactly the same size. And the format command lets me prepare a disk for use. Now, you'll notice here that this says internal commands, and this here says external commands. Basically, the idea of internal and external commands, an internal command is one that's directly part of the CMD program. When I went and I said start, and I said run, and then I said CMD, CMD is actually a program. So that program has various things that it knows how to do directly. So dir is one of the commands it knows how to respond to. Copy, time, rename, these are the things that CMD knows how to do. But other things that I really want to do within DOS are not part of CMD. They're sort of external commands. They're separate programs that the CMD program will then call in order to get the work done. Something like a general practitioner calling a specialist when there's some kind of special procedure to be done. So format, for example, is a large program, so it's not part of the internal commands that CMD knows how to do. The practical difference, as far as we're concerned, is when we make a rescue disk. If, as we saw in class, we can say format with a /s option, that will copy the system on it, which basically gives me everything that's an internal command. But my rescue disk needs to have other stuff. For example, I have to have a format command on it. I would have to copy that directly onto my rescue disk. Now, another way of looking at this is from the user perspective. There are sort of system commands. I can change the date. That's the date command. I can change the time. There are certain commands that I do when I want to manipulate files. If you think about, I want to copy a file, get rid of a file with the delete command. I want to see a list of all the files. I want to erase a file, rename a file, type the contents of a file. So these, from my perspective, if I want to deal with files, these are the commands that I invoke. I can do things with a disk. I can scan the disk, which sort of corrects whatever errors there are on it. I can copy one disk to another. I can format a disk, and so on. So those are basically the DOS commands that we'll be looking at. In the next video, we're going to start going through the commands themselves.